She is back. She is deadly. All bets are off. Another alien has arrived from Mars, and the hybrid that we had produced from what was left from the first film is now on our side, not on our side, maybe on our side. It is the extinction of the human race come to fruition, just like whatever life on Mars was wiped out by it, or is it what will happen? This is Natasha Henstridge, 1998, Species 2. And also Marge Helgenberger, who would go on to be on CSI, right? Yeah, that was it. So Species, the Species franchise, which I'll be honest, I didn't even know that there'd been like 4 of them, and apparently they're still working on more. I had seen the first one a long time ago. Number 2 popped up, something suggested to me on Tubi, so I thought I would sit through and watch it in isolation because I don't remember too much about the first one. But Sil, the protagonist alien played by Natasha Henstridge in the first film, was destroyed, but they used remaining genetic material to grow a copy, which they call Eve, keeping her in a top secret government lab. Isn't that always the way? Just because you're an illegal extraterrestrial, you end up sliced into wafer-thin sections and being studied in a laboratory. Someone will get that reference out there. So she's in a laboratory being studied to be weaponized, presumably for defense. Of course, you expect that it's going to be more insidious than that, but we kind of never get there because the mission to Mars, our first manned mission that visits the surface, brings back with it a plague. It's almost like a Borg technology infection in Star Trek, where little nanites pop out of you and can spread assimilation. The alien DNA is so aggressive in the Species franchise. People that are exposed to a little bit of it from the surface of Mars, when it gets loose on the ship, it is able to infect 2 of the 3 human astronauts, begin mutating and devolving or evolving them, causing mutation to convert it into a biology that is more like theirs, and using their bodies to spread its biology. Making their way back to Earth, the female astronaut, her husband ends up dead. By the time our protagonists figure out this danger, they arrive in time to destroy what comes out of her, but not until after it has killed her husband. Whereas the chief astronaut on the surface, the son of an important American politician, is going around having random sex with any women he can find, even attempting rape, in order to inject them with this alien DNA, which comes to fruition within moments, creating something like an embryo that grows immediately to at least the age of a toddler, from what we can tell by the time he takes them away to put them in a barn on a piece of property where he is storing them, the progeny of his extraterrestrial hybridization that will ultimately lead to the destruction of the world. It has all of the beauty of the Species franchise, including the grotesqueness, the sexuality. It's almost 80s in its feel, with the gratuitous nudity and sexuality, a lot of things that you saw in the late 70s through the 80s. And it is part of this sort of sci-fi horror genre. Heavy on the horror, light on the sci-fi. Other than the visit to Mars, we don't see that it is not a franchise of ray guns and transporters and shuttlecraft. It is a franchise of hideously mutated and ugly alien DNA taking people over. And the things created by this DNA is almost Sigourney Weaver alien franchise sort of hideousness and mucus dripping and all of that good stuff. Adding to it the overtly sexual component makes it particularly heinously gross. But we build up in Species 2 to the confrontation of Eve escapes from the lab. She is driven overwhelmingly by this passion to mate, and she has caught the scent as they had met through the glass, the special security glass separating them. She has met the senator's son, who carries the DNA of the alien, the masculine form of it, and she can't wait. But what will she do? Has she learned enough Is there enough of her humanity, her human part in there? Has she gathered enough of a relationship with the rest of humanity that she will help us fight the alien? And in the midst of their passion of mating, she makes the split-second decision to try to defend humanity, and she ends up dead. Or does she? And at the end, they're able to exterminate all of the man's progeny hidden on the ranch, or did they? It's all completely left open. And as I say, I saw this many years ago and didn't even realize that they had gone on and made more that I haven't watched yet. But Species 2, it is what Species was in the first one. It is Species, the franchise. I'll see what the other ones look like later. It is perverse and sexual and grotesque and horrifying and suspenseful with some sci-fi elements. It has all of that in there. Natasha Henstridge is awesome in this part and being able to pull off the stunts, although maybe she had a stunt person, I shouldn't say it. But she is absolutely believable in this role, and it's neat seeing Marge Helgenberger running the laboratory and having this friendship with Eve that helps her hold on to some bit of her humanity, knowing that she would be in the lab on CSI before too long. So Species 2, if you're looking for a Species movie, it's a great one. You want some sci-fi horror, gross, disgusting, mucus and blood splattering stuff, this is your film. It's what you go to Species for, or a franchise like it. Species 2 has it in spades, and it's really well done and put together. Definitely worth watching. So check it out and let me know what you think. Species 2.